I'm Teisha Bader with Shalom TV's News Update. The Associated Press reports that the man believed to be behind the anti-Islam film that is being blamed for inciting the violence that took place this week in Libya, Egypt, and most recently Yemen is one Nakula Baseli Nakula, a Coptic Christian living in California. The film credits one Sam Basil as its director, producer, and writer. The name Nakula is believed to have used as an alias, under which he claimed to be an American Israeli Jew, claims that have now been shown to be false. Nakula told the AP Wednesday that he managed logistics for the company that produced the inflammatory film, but was not Basil. However, several connections and documents point to Basil and Nakula being one and the same person. Basil, by the way, was convicted in 2010 of federal bank fraud charges and served 21 months in federal prison. Meanwhile, Jewish groups here in the U.S. continue to express their sympathies and outrage over the attacks this week, which left U.S. Ambassador to Libya Chris Stevens and 3 of his embassy staff dead. Richard Stone and Malcolm Hoenlein, the chairman and executive vice chairman, respectively, of the Conference of Presidents of major American Jewish organizations, said there can be no justification and no legitimization for such violence, also saying that the American Jewish community continues to be adamant about the need for respect for all religions. The Jewish Federations of North America said they were horrified by the senseless violence. Ronald Lauder, president of the World Jewish Congress, called for leaders of all nations and all faiths to condemn the tragedy, which he said cannot be justified for religious or any other reasons. The National Council of Jewish Women strongly condemned the violence as well, adding, at the same time, we find deliberate insults to the religious beliefs of others to be odious impediments to efforts to reach an understanding across borders and faith traditions of our common humanity. A Cuban foreign ministry official denies claims made by the wife of jailed Jewish American Alan Gross that he is in poor health. Judy Gross recently visited her husband in Cuba and said she was devastated by Gross's appearance and fearful that he may not survive his imprisonment. Cuban Foreign Ministry official Josefina Vidal said Gross's health continues to be normal. She also said that Cuba was willing to find a solution in Gross's case. Gross was sentenced last year to 15 years in prison in Cuba for, quote, crimes against the state, for allegedly bringing satellite phones and computer equipment to members of Cuba's Jewish community while on a USAID-funded democracy-building program. In a statement sent to the Associated Press, Vidal said, Cuba reiterates its willingness to talk with the United States government to find a solution in the case of Mr. Gross and continues to await an answer. While not spelling it out publicly, Cuba has hinted in the past that they would be open to a possible deal with the U.S., trading Gross for 5 Cuban agents sentenced to jail in the United States. U.S. officials have maintained that there is no equivalency between Gross and the Cuban 5 and have rejected this sort of quid pro quo. The Jerusalem Post reports that the Israeli Jewish Congress, a new organization designed to strengthen ties between Israel and the diaspora, held its inaugural conference in Jerusalem on Wednesday night. The Congress was spearheaded by Russian businessman and Jewish communal activist Vladimir Moshe Slutzker. The conference focused on the threats of ongoing efforts to delegitimize Israel and increasing anti-Semitism, particularly stemming from Europe. And finally, the JTA reports that U.S. Vice President Joe Biden held a Rosh Hashanah reception at his home Wednesday, where he reaffirmed the U.S. and Israel's united stance regarding Iran. According to tweets posted by attendee Nathan Diamond, the Washington director of the Orthodox Union, Biden said at the reception that both our nations are intently focused on the threat of Iran and that there is no daylight between the United States and Israel. Other Jewish leaders at the event included Richard Stone, the chairman of the Conference of Presidents of Major American Jewish Organizations, Abe Foxman, the Anti-Defamation League's national director, Rabbi Julie Schoenfeld, the executive vice president of the conservative movement's Rabbinical Assembly, and Jewish Federations of North America Vice President for Public Policy and Washington Office Director William Daroff. Israeli Ambassador to the U.S. Michael Oren was also present, as were several Jewish members of Congress. And that's Shalom TV's news update. I'm Teisha Bader.